Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 28. This is the penultimate round of the F2 Championship, round number 9, and we head to a circuit that hasn't been raced at all during this game cycle in PSGL. It is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the Baku City Circuit. My name is Jess, and joining me as per usual for the penultimate time this season, we got Owen Wyatt. How are you doing?
Hello, Jess. Hello, viewers. Welcome to Baku. Do you know, I cannot wait for this one. Every single time I've commentated on PSGL drivers here, we've had absolute classics. So I cannot wait to do it again because this is the day where the season champion could really come through and finally show their form. Because you know what? It's still so close. More than half the field, I think, can still win this championship.
Yes, indeed. About 10 or 11 people are still mathematically in the fight for this championship, with quite a lot of people now out of the running. Antoine was in the running, but he's not here tonight, so unfortunately he's mathematically eliminated after next week. Roll, Rally, Greeny, Ascom, Igoro, Toxic, Simo, Fenny and Manolo, they're all out. Everybody else could still win the championship, but for the likes of CC Brain, M Short and Benny and Handler, for example, they need everybody else to have rubbish races in Baku just to stay in it. But we've seen, like you said, anything can happen in Baku. Even the slightest mistakes could cause you to be out of this championship fight.
Indeed, the walls are close. The castle section's a nightmare, and we know exactly just what sort of carnage this track can cause. But you know what, I think, like I say, it does say a lot that Eltink, the championship leader, he only got his first race win last week. So I do think all these drivers are going to be coming here with that little bit more sort of tension, thinking, you know, I get that one win, I'm straight in this as well. So I do wonder if that's going to cause more incidents, because that castle section and that first sector actually in general, that's going to be so nervy. I really do wonder who's going to hold their ball, because they haven't been the best at it so far. So this could be a classic tonight.
Yeah, it is. First used in Formula 1 in 2016, where we saw Nico Rosberg actually take the win here on his first outing in the Baku City Circuit. There's been 2 great races in Baku in real life, 2 not so great races. In league racing, like you said, it's been really good. Third last used in PSGL in the regular seasons, back in season 24. Black Phoenix won that in F2. In actual PSGL racing, it was actually the Esports Cup where we saw Casper fight to the line and actually took a win here as well. So we've seen some great races along here, and it should be absolutely amazing to see the drivers fight it all out as well. It has lots of great corners, 3.7 miles long, 20 corners, and it rises way in between the buildings and through the old part of the city. And it's by the Caspian Sea, believe it or not, so it's near the coast. But first time's on the board. Lamakina is on pole position at the moment, but I think we could expect lap times to be in the round about the 136s tonight. These are just banker laps right now, but we will see. It is F2 after all. We've seen some unpredictability last week where we saw some great action, so anything can happen tonight. But Lamakina's got his Delta to a good start in pole position so far.
Yeah, and already you can see 3 drivers within 1/10 of a second. Are we going to see yet another close qualifying? That's one of the things about this grid as well. There's a good reason why all the drivers are in there. Sure, there's a bit of unreliability with some, but the fact that they're all still so close at the stage of the season, they're all going to be so motivated. I love seeing gaps this close. We had this quite a lot on the F1, but honestly, I'd always argue this grid's closer. This is every single week they're finding these gaps, and they'll fill those gaps as well. There'll be a few more drivers, I reckon, getting themselves in there. As you say, Lamakina currently on top at the moment. A few drivers still on laps. So they can find one. Eltink straight in there under 10th, like I say, so they are straight away finding the gaps. Ascom, he's coming through in his Mercedes. And it's quite a long lap round here, actually, so you've got to be careful of how you're doing your qualifying session, because we've had sort of recently where they've been able to go around and do a few more qualifying laps than you would expect, or the weather's sort of got in the way. So every qualifying session is quite unique actually this season. We've had a lot of variability. So yeah, let's see how they all get on with that. But yeah, most of the first times are on the board. Now Toxic Tomato, I think he's done this a few times. He's actually in the wall in the castle section. Hope he doesn't take the Mercedes like he hasn't. But again, taking time to get laps on the board. I wonder how he's feeling about this season, because he's always had the good pace, but it's just not really coming together for him.
He's done a lot better than last season, where last season he's hardly scored any points, whilst last season he actually tried to get used to no line. This is the second season with no line for him as well. So he's got a lot better, but for some drivers it does take a while just to find their feet a little bit. There's a few drivers in here that use no line for the first time too as well, and it's great to see them able to adapt as well. And talking about KJ, who's actually leading the championship, like you said, he actually started as a reserve last season. I think it was Russia, and he started to pull off some great performances then. I said in that race that he could be a championship contender this season in season 28, and look where he is. He's at the top of the standings. Gil in second, but Gil's not here tonight, so that could be very interesting. I'll go through the standings now, actually. So Gil is in second with 44. KJ is first with 47. And we got Lamakina in third with 42. Suku is fourth with 37. Unfortunately, due to his incident a few weeks ago, he's got a qualifying ban for this week. Luca in fifth on 36. And we got Ballina also on 36. Fabi on 30. Hadlow on 26. Benny on 23, M Short on 18, CC Brain on 18. Those people could still win the championship, technically. And then we got Antoine, who's not here tonight, on 15. And we got Royal Valley on 14 points. Greeny on 10 with Ascom. Goro not here tonight. I don't think. No, he's not. On 6 points. Toxic Tomato on 3. Simo on 2. And we got 2 drivers yet to score. Both of them joined midway through the season. Fenny, I think was there round 3, I can't remember, whereas Manilo was a few races ago. So let's hope by at least tonight, or maybe Brazil, people can get points on the board. And I think it's one of those tracks also where literally some of these guys could get their best result of the season, because we could see the few people go out of it. And Gil is here now. I thought Gil wasn't here, but he is now, so that's good. It may just be me not reading things correctly. But yeah, 2 of the Racing Points here tonight, and we could potentially see Racing Point take a big gap in the constructors as well, because I do believe they're leading it with a Racing Point 1-2 in the drivers, so should be interesting.
Yeah, I've just noticed, I think Will Murdoch's now also turned up. You were right, Gil wasn't here at the start, but Will Murdoch wasn't either. I believe they both just joined mid-session, so that is a little bit more variability into the race. I don't know if they'll be able to qualify or not. Their cars appear to have arrived in the pit lane, so hopefully we'll see them do some laps, but yeah, certainly Gil is out there. But Will only just turned up. But the guys now starting to do their second runs. Shall we look with Lamakina, the current P1 driver, by 6/100ths of a second. We'll see how you get around the Baku City Circuit. You can see it's practically sunset as they're going round. I do wonder how much that's going to distract the drivers actually around here, because you're always going to be going through the shadows and through the light. The exits of these 90-degree right-handers are quite difficult actually, but you can see the slipstream on Will Murdoch, so he has been able to get out of the pits, which is good to see. But it will certainly help Lamakina. We know Connor's not a big fan of the slipstream, but Lamakina is certainly going to be taking it while he can. A few cars ahead who, I believe, a couple are on out laps. Gil's definitely on a flying lap, but you can see that's KJ slowing down. You'll want to be out of the way of Lamakina, who's just set a purple first sector. Because into that castle section, last thing needs traffic. I've seen plenty of league races where you just get caught up in there and it leads to accidents. It even happens in real life with the F2 boys back in 2017 in real life, and you can see how close Lamakina's getting to the barrier on the way into that castle. You've got to be fully committed, because actually it's when you're not committed you're going to have the accident because you're too worried about it. It's important to not overthink it. Same with this next corner coming up. It's a big curve when you get there, and you can easily go flying over, but if you cut it just right, just like Lamakina has, you're going to make lots of lap time up, but you can see the walls are very close. It's a very difficult lap to do, but now it should be all but done. He's nearly 2/10 up, and now all he's going to do is get through, and he'll get a lovely slipstream off the Haas ahead. Don't know which one it is, but it doesn't really matter. It'll be a nice tow regardless. Hadler has gone top in the Williams, but I suspect that this lap from Lamakina is going to top it. That Haas is also not using much ERS, so it'll be going a little bit slower, which should have helped Lamakina get maybe 1 or 2 miles an hour, and he does go P1 at 1:37 dead.
That was a very good lap for Lamakina, I definitely agree, and he's one of those drivers where I think he had the lead of the championship for most of the time as well during the season, but there was times where he either won the race or he didn't get any points, but he did very well last week. He got his first podium for quite a bit. He got actually a P3, so that makes it a streak of podiums whenever he gets a point. So he's really got to probably get more podiums this week and next week in order to actually get back in this fight. Because even though the gap is 5 points, you could see KJ and Gil running away with it. They could be getting wins potentially as well. So and Lamakina will need to stay out of it. And Fabi's in third as well. So his teammate is not that far behind as well. That could be an interesting strategy in the race. They're not allowed to give slipstream in qualifying. That's not allowed, as Gil is in 31.38.0. He's on a lap right now as he's past this castle section. I don't think he's very happy with his lap, and no, he's running out of fuel, so I don't think he's going to attempt on that.
Yeah, it's not fuel, not ideal when you've got quite a flat section. Hopefully that doesn't get in anyone's way as he's heading towards the pit lane. I think most laps probably are done, and we'll see a few more completed. And again, Toxic Tomato, they're cruising round, still trying to acclimatise to the track. Balner, we saw him was just ahead of his teammate who had pitted, but we didn't see what Balner had done. He's 1.5 seconds off the moment. He's coming to the line now, and we'll see if he improves. He does. He goes up into P6. World Rally went top there, by the way. He's just on the fringe of the 136s. Zuho will get there on the final runs. Maybe one of these guys here, still to finish lap, will be up there as Ascom and Will Murdoch come through. Will Murdoch first. He's in the 140, so that's not going to be any good. Ascom goes P9, and I believe there's also a Red Bull, but that's also into the pit lane. I think, as we say, most of those runs are done. And it's all going to be about the end of the qualifying session. This one's flown by so far, but this is it. Last chance to win for all of them now. And quite a few of them, I think, won't be too happy with how they've done so far. Certainly a bit of a more strung out field than we were expecting. And that says a lot when it's under 4 tenths between the top 9.
If you think about it as well, we've had a lot of races to compare with in the game cycle in many seasons, like, for example, Belgium, Austria as well, and pretty much all the tracks on the calendar were like, oh, this was done a few seasons ago or a season ago, and we were able to judge on what will be the best time. This is the first time PSGL ever raced around there, so it's kind of like a new situation for them. Some of them may have not raced this track on this game, so I'm not really that surprised they're not as close because they haven't done as many races. They've only done probably some of the top guys, maybe in some other leagues, but not many people in PSGL at all have probably touched this track because some people don't like to drive it. As Fenny comes across the line to start his next flyer lap as well. But yeah, a few people going into the pits. No sign of what the weather's going to be like in the race, but I strongly suggest it's going to be a dry race again, most likely. Luckily, it's a dry qualifying because we did have a wet qualifying last week, which made things interesting in Japan. If you missed last week's race in Japan, then make sure you check it out after the stream, of course, because it was a very good race. But everybody, there was only a few people on the mediums, but I'm guessing that everyone wants to start on the softs, even though they don't last a chunk of time around here. It's not as bad as other tracks like Singapore and China, where it only lasts about 7 laps or so before it just gets absolutely awful. But we shall see, of course. But Fenny and Will, I think they'll be on their final laps because they've literally just started them, unless the game is telling me porcupines. But they'll be their final laps, I think, because there's no way they're going to get 1 or 2 laps done on these tyres, because the tyres are going to be on so much degraded compared to everybody else when they start the race, if they qualify in the top 10.
Yeah, Ruben's also on a lap, and you know, he's out of the final sort of proper braking zone. He's going way off the track and getting away with it. This could be on for P1. He was up by more than enough to go P1. Let's see if he gets there, if he's going to abandon it. He's shown what pace he could have, but he's not letting us see the final lap. That could have been it, you know, because he was still... I think that lap was still an improvement, even though he went via the pit lane. So, yeah, certainly time there for him. Fenny, I wonder how many drivers are actually going to pit on this one. And I do wonder just how many are going to use that little trick. I don't know exactly what code number it is, but it's the one that Will Murdoch is coming through. The next one at the bottom of the hill. They're going wide and off the track. Could be the difference between pole and not, because look, you can exploit the game. If it's there to be exploited, exploit it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what Will Murdoch really wants to do, because he usually likes starting near the back anyway, but still he wants to get in as many times as possible. He's not in a championship fight. He's mainly here to race for some fun. He came out of his early retirement from last season. He said he was retiring at the end of this season, but he's still coming here to race for the last few races of the game cycle, which is always good news right now. He's 9 tenths down on his previous best, so I presume he'll probably go again. But everybody else is on their out laps right now, about to go and start their final laps. Ruben and KJ in the pit. I wonder if they're going to make it out in time, as a lot of people move out the way for the drivers as well. Gil, I believe, has just started a lap as well, so let's see what he could do. Maybe he wants to help his teammate out. But don't forget, he's also in a championship fight as well. So the Racing Point team, they can't have any team orders around here because one of the teammates are probably going to be very annoyed.
Yeah, and this is where it's going to get quite hectic because, as you say, there are a couple of cars that aren't making it out for this. Toxic will not get a lap done unless he seriously gets moving right now. And obviously Suko isn't doing anything because he's out. But the rest of them should all be okay. Maybe a little bit touch and go with some. Depends on how the traffic is. But certainly Gil is the first one on a lap. And then, yeah, we're going to try and keep up with the rest of them. And we'll see what sort of lap times he can do. Because, you know, Gil, this is not really what he needs for the championship fight, being stuck down in P14. Not doubting he can't get back up the field in the race. Maybe that's what he's more focused on. But certainly you'll want to be inside that top 10. Because I think it's going to be a soft to medium strategy, I'd imagine, today. It can't really benefit outside the top 10 as much as maybe other tracks would. For example, Japan. But, yeah, let's see what traffic Gil comes up against here. Because, like I say, he's gone a little bit earlier than the rest. If you're not, you can be a whole second behind the car and still get some slipstream. So let's see. We've got 54 seconds left on the clock. So unless Gil has enough fuel, this is it. And he is, oh yeah, this will be it because he hasn't got that much ERS left anyway. So going to put it all on the table. That gap from 5th down to 9th is the closest. It's about half a 10th. So if he can slot in there, let's see. Coming to the line, he might go even higher. He's gone P4, so he's beaten that group. P4. Let's see how the rest get on, because this is about to get very difficult to keep an eye on. So I hope I can do it justice. Next car to finish a lap, I believe, is going to be Fabi. And he's up by 400ths of a second. So that's not really enough to gain any positions at the moment. And Lamborghini did have a slight toe. I don't know if World Rally did as well in his last lap. But let's see if Fabi can put this on the front row. Or even P1. Look at the time. Nah, it's just not a big enough improvement. I think if he had that toe, it would have helped him along, but he just didn't have any of the help. So unfortunately, he stays P3. I wonder how long he'll stay there because of everybody else's laps to go. First one, Hadler, he's 6/10 up. That's pole position written all over. Let's see if he can convert it. He can indeed. It's P1. Now, that's the improvement that one driver's making. How is everyone going to do? Hercules has gone up to P3. We've got Lamakina. He's gone P2. Hadler's gap is holding, which is impressive because it's a massive gap to have. Ascom is up, but not really by enough to challenge that pole position. But we'll watch him anyway as he comes towards the line. Such a long run to the finish line. An agonizing run, but once he gets there, he's going to go P6. Now, Elting's binned it, I think. So he's not going to keep a... He's going to fall down. It will give him the strategy, but as I say, it might not be as useful here as in other tracks. Now, we've got World Rally pitting. We've had Benny pitting as well. We will also have Ballner. He will finish his lap. He's so close, but not close enough. I think number 6 as well is pitting him. I'm sure. A lot of people struggling here. Luke has come across the line. He's up to P3. Good lap from him. And then Will didn't improve.
Guilty validated.
And we've got CC Bryn as well. Gil, as you say. I think he was on an in-lap anyway, because he'd done his lap. But Fenny, he's up by nearly a second. That might squeeze into the top 10. He might need a little bit more. And he hasn't quite got it. But P12, still not the end of the world. But Adler, he's done it again, hasn't he? He's on that P1. He was there briefly earlier on. And he's been able to convert it this time by 3/100ths of a second to Ballner and Luca. That's the top 3. Great lap from Hadler. That is impressive stuff.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Hadler all season. I think he's been keeping the consistent up, and that is the result that he needs to potentially still be in this championship fight, potentially as well. He didn't have good results in the last few races. P11 in both Canada and Japan, and his best result has been actually no, that's Benny. I'm reading the wrong person. It's hard to read this spreadsheet. Actually no, but it is Adler with two 11 places, 2 10th places, 3 4th places, and then 1 12th place in the Williams as well. So to be honest, this is his first pole position of the season. This is definitely the race to do it at, and ideally this is the track where you want to start pole position because you will be avoiding the carnage at the start. Ideally you want to be starting near the back or near the front. So watch out for Hadler, watch out for Suko as well. But the others could be maybe in a bit of trouble, but I've seen some races where there's carnage in turn 1 in some tiers, some races where they kept it clean. Hopefully this is the one that keeps it clean, but quite a lot of people, 4 people in fact, are in the 136s, so that's good sign for things to come. And all the top four are in that fight. So watch out for those four in the race. So we've got Hadler, Banner, Luca, Lamborghini, Roll Valley, Hercules, who is reserve driver, filling in for Simo tonight. And we got Fabi, Ascom, Gil, and Ruben, another reserve driver. And we got KJ, Fenny, M Short, CC Brain, Benny, Will Murdoch, who's filling in for one of the Williams guys of Antoine, Toxic, and then Suko. Suko did not set a lap time because he had a qualifying ban. Everyone else did set a lap time. I think there was one driver that did not set a representative lap time, but I'm guessing he wanted to start near the back anyway, which in Baku is not a bad thing. So we'll see what happens. Luckily, no rain to fret us at the moment. Completely dry race as it seems. No clouds in the sky, so should be a fun race to watch. I can't wait.
I'm sure Luca can't wait either. I think he'd be quite happy with how that one went. He's currently sitting 5th in the championship, but it seems a lot of his rivals actually had sort of bad sessions in the end. Tink and Gil were in the lower midfield. Lamakina, I think he's ahead of him. Suko didn't qualify, of course. And so that leaves Luca and Balner as well, sort of in that position to take advantage. They're both equal on 36 points. This is their big chance because, like I say, those two string good races together. With it being so tight this season, we're on for one of the lowest scoring seasons in PSGL history. These two races are so crucial. So they put it together, then they could pose a championship threat. So we've got to keep our eye on them. They will be near the front, so we'll certainly see how they get on. Hadler, sadly for him, he's on pole, but he's just a little bit too far away. There's a significant amount of stuff that could happen today, but he needs quite a lot to get into the championship. But hey, who knows? He wins the race, he's straight into it. But let's see what tires are all on. Ignore the drivers who are standing on top of their cars. I don't quite know if you're saying that, but I'm saying it. They said they fixed this, but well, they haven't. Who is that? I think it's an AlphaTauri that's got a driver standing outside their own car. That's impressive driving skills, I must say. But a lot of them on the hards, Jess. That's surprising me.
Yeah, that's surprising me as well. In Baku, there's two strategies that you could possibly do. Like you said, soft to medium as well. But some people don't like that soft to medium, so they want to go for the probably more conservative strategy, soft to hard. But I'm quite surprised as well that they want to go soft to hard. But I'm guessing they would want to try the undercut. But there's some times where the undercut does not work, and it does depend on the driver's pace. So we will see. But the ones in the top 10, they get obviously more of a choice on what they want to do. It depends on their tyre life, of course. And it can really decide other people's strategies as well, because if people go into the pits before then that could decide on what to do as well. Because they may have a strategy plan, but this could change at a drop of a hat. They got to really think on the fly as well, as we've got multiple tyres on offer today. We've got the C4s, the C3s and the C2s. The softs can last 8 laps, mediums can last 16, hards can last 20, and the mediums can go from lap 10. So quite a chunk of this race actually. So I thought that's what some people would have gone on to. So I'm going to watch out for M Short, CC Brain and Benny today. Let's see if they can prove us right, but where the medium to soft strategy could be the right one for them. But we don't know what the top 10 will be doing. Soft to medium, soft to hard. We'll just have to wait and see once the pit window comes. We'll keep an eye on the first pit window, which is around about lap 6, lap 5, lap 6 area. If they don't pit then most likely they'll be going on to the medium tyres. So I don't know what people are going for. I know Banner will potentially be going for the aggressive strategy. He usually likes to do that, but Hadler, he's the one who likes to keep it conservative, so maybe he could go on the hards, but we will have to wait and see. We're about to start the penultimate round of the season. One of the first seasons in PSGL history in F2 where we literally don't know who is going to be in the championship fight in Brazil, and even if people are going to be a champion could potentially be crowned tonight if a lot of people make mistakes. So we shall see, and I'll hand it over to you for the start.
So we've got the drivers in, lined up on the grid. Not a very long run down towards turn 1. They're only about 200 metres away. You can see with the brake marker boards there just alongside Hadler, so he can see that corner's not too far away. So as long as he gets a decent enough launch, he should be all good. And I noticed Toxic Tomato's ghosted. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues with the lobby, because he was quite a long way behind. We'll wait for the light, so hopefully we'll get some. There shouldn't be any issues with it. I've heard some people saying that Lamakina is lagging as well in the lobby, so maybe a few nervous drivers, but let's wait for the lights. Let's hope they pop up. Here we go. Hadler's on pole. He's on the left-hand side. Balner is ghosted on the right-hand side. That might avoid some contact. We are away in Baku, and it looks like actually a decent start from the Haas. Can he get himself down the inside? in towards turn 1. He has made a contact, so the ghosting didn't help. Luca's gone around, that's his chance gone. But the ghosting does mean he's not going to be wiped out of the race at the very least. So I'm sure that will be very good news for him because he's still right at the back. A few drivers going side by side. We've got Ballner going alongside now the other AlphaTauri of World Rally, who's going to be trying to go up his inside. He's just seen the Haas driver kill his teammate. Well, how risky is he going to be as he heads in? It's more contact and the Haas nearly into the wall. We'll see Hercules trying to go right around the inside as well. I'm sure the Haas Ballner will cover that one off, but that does mean that Lamborghini now is the man running second place in this race. He's now looking to make the big gains in the challenger because Gill is currently 11th, Elting only 13th, but there are people trying to make moves, and actually the game's giving me the wrong positions. Gill actually 7th, so he's actually at a decent start. And they're still side by side. Hercules, look at this, alongside Ballner. Ruben's trying to find a space to go through. Remember what I said about turning? You don't want to be going side by side from there. There'll be plenty of pilots if you do, and luckily they've abandoned that before anything bad could happen.
Clean start for most of these drivers so far. I think a majority of drivers got a bit lucky there, but Toxic unfortunately was just falling by the wayside, with Benny by the looks of things as well, unless he's ghosted, which is weird, so I think the data's mixed up. So maybe Toxic did have an okay start, but he may have got damaged, so we'll see if he goes into the pits. Hadler already pulling away by 7 tenths already. Lamborghini doing a good job as well, like you said. World Rally I think's gained the most out of most people actually, even though he's out of this championship fight, he's still going to at least have some fun. If I was him, probably go for a gamble strategy, as we've seen Ascom and Fabi going for moves in the background as Ascom has gone past, but I think Ascom is going to go into the pits anyway. Quite a few people going into the pits due to damage, more than I thought. Ascom, Fabi, Luca, 2 of the championship contenders are pitting, so that's not good for their championship chances. They probably might be out of this if they don't get some points today.
Yeah, that's bad news for them. They're looking for a safety car to get them back into the race. Sadly, the order's still messing about. I don't think Elting's currently sitting P5. No, he isn't, because I want to see who's actually at the best start. I think M Short is the highest driver on the alternate strategy. He P8, I think. He's sorting himself out now. So he's currently sitting in P8 on the mediums. He's got obviously Eltink behind him, but certainly to be the lead runner on the alternate strategy. Now we're going to see what he can do. The top 2 seem to be sort of getting away on their own at the moment. World Rally not really able to keep up, mainly because of the incidents at turn 1. I meant those 2 could really get away, and it'll be a fight between those 2 for a while because the DRS is so powerful. I don't see if World Rally isn't in it that he could catch Lamborghini, because he'll be getting that full blast all the way down that main straight. But we'll see it when he gets enabled in the next lap. It is not lap 3. The game is wrong, unless I've missed a lap somewhere. Lamborghini's got a penalty already. I do think that is correct.
Yeah, that is correct, yeah.
Yeah, the gaps are still messing us about, unfortunately. But they should fix themselves soon. I think it's because there were so many accidents and a lot of people ghosting. It might just be confusing the game. But we'll see as they cross the line to start lap 3. Now, as you can see, it has changed from lap 2. It's not been lap 2, but it's Hadler having a mistake there actually at turn 1. That might give Lamborghini an early chance, because there is a DRS detection point now at turn 2. There used to not be actually, but there is now. And Lamborghini, well, this is where I can start saving the ERS actually, because you might not want to get by too early. It's the classic what's the point situation. You could just sit behind and give yourself an easier, particularly later on, but he's got the pace, I think, Lamborghini. And you know, in terms of the championship, you've got to win the race, haven't you? If you've got the pace, get away while all your rivals aren't really that close to you.
Because if you win the race, you have a really good chance of maybe taking the title in Brazil and having a huge advantage over everybody else as well. And interesting stat as well, the guy that started on pole, Hadler, is not really having the stats in his favour right now, because only Valtteri Bottas actually won from pole here, the only pole sitter out of 4 races to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So it's not working well in his favour there, but he's going to be the one that proved the stats wrong, to be fair. Lamborghini is going to be the one that potentially could catch up. 4 tenths of the gap now, even with a penalty. He's got to be within 3 seconds clear anyway, so he's going to hope Hadler gets a penalty. But I'm almost certain Hadler's rear tyres are going to take a beating anytime soon, because that is one of those tracks where it does overheat quite quickly because of the hard traction zones in the slow corners. Maybe the castle section is where people lose it as well, but we shall see. Royal Rally's now in this fight now too, because if Lamborghini does not get a move on, World Rally could possibly go for the move as well. Hercules, though, it could get Banner. Nobody's too further back at this moment in time, but Lamborghini for the move on Haller side by side, and I think easy does it goes Lamborghini. So much faster than Haller. He's in the lead of this race.
Yep, so his goal now, really pull out that DRS gap and try and pull the 3 seconds of that penalty. We'll put on him at the end of the race. Easier said than done, but like I said, it does seem like he actually does have the pace. So yeah, we'll see how he gets on. Hercules on the back of Ballon still looking, and I can see that Gill's having to defend from Ruben. M Short there is still on the back of it on the mediums. He's doing a good job. CC Brain has just overtaken Suko, who has had a good start considering he started right at the back. Sure, there's been a lot of pit stops, but he's getting himself right in there, Suko. Another driver who is in the championship fight will certainly be very motivated to get towards the point. We'll be hoping for a safety car later on after those soft runners have pitted to help his strategy out. That's sort of what they're all hoping for, I guess, on the hards, because they can go that much further into the race. But yeah, we're just sort of seeing World Rally actually getting back into this. He's pulled away well from Ballner. Ballner's not able to get into his DRS, but World Rally, is into Hadler's DRS, and that's where the train's going to start. But Lamborghini is doing all he can to pull away, but it was a pretty decent middle sector for Hadler, who, while he's not on his top pace, has been able to save that ERS and is now on the back of Lamborghini again. So Lamborghini is going to have to do quite the job to pull that 3 second gap. Luckily, he's got the whole rest of the race, but again, easier said than done.
I wonder if Hadler is going to be going into the pits now, like I thought he was going to, maybe in a few laps' time, to go onto those hard tyres, which should make it to the end. Obviously not now, because it won't make it, but next lap as well. But you can see Hadler's got the move once again on Lamborghini this time. It's going to be swapsies for the Williams driver. He didn't want Lamborghini to get P1 that easily as well, but Lamborghini's going to get the DRS. I wonder if they've been let through as a caution for the DRS. I don't have a clue, but let's see if Lamborghini could go for the move at the end of this DRS straight round the inside. Nobody stays back once again, and I think the gap between World Rally could drop a little bit, because obviously Lamborghini's pace is a lot better around this track as well. Meanwhile, M Short, he's in the pit, so is Ruben. So Ruben's gone on the mediums, M Short on the hards. I don't know what tyres M Short started on. He might have picked up damage, I think.
Yeah, front wing.
Yeah.
Wing.
So that's probably
Hercules
one.
pitted as well. Hercules pitted as well. Those two, Hercules and Ruben, they are strategy, but M Short, that certainly wasn't planned. Just I had to check the telemetry there to make sure I wasn't going crazy, but now I had a brutal front wing, so that's his problem, sadly. But plenty of time still to get back into it, but he was the lead alternate strategy runner, so I don't know how he's broken that wing, but that'll be a frustrating one for him. But certainly Hercules and Ruben, you can see the space they've come out into. That's not too bad for them, actually. And we'll see in these front runners, I wonder how they're going to run it. So they're going to keep swapping every lap. It's a bit like the Indy 500, this. The way they've done it the last few years, where you lead one lap, let the next guy through, they lead a lap, you pass. Because it's such a long straight, you sort of have to pass them, or else you'll get backed up into everybody else. You've got to help each other, or pit, because Hercules and Ruben have shown that they want to pit early, and that is what this whole top four is doing. Connor has said you can do whatever you want, by the way, once you get past that first white line. So people cutting the white lines in that little chicane on the way into the pits is fine for anyone who wants to be pedantic, because there's been quite a lot of esports drivers who love to report stuff like that. Really annoying people. But luckily these guys they've been told you can do it, no one can report you for it. And they've all gone to the hards. Now, where's Hercules going to go? Is he going to maybe try and get himself ahead of World Rally? That'd be a good undercut on those mediums as well, so he should be quite quick. He's in the wall nearly. Oh, he made the spot, but he's just lost it again. Oh, I might have got a bit overexcited there, Hercules, but he's gone and lost the position. He has still, though, got the grippier tyres. Can he try and get back through? No, and he's locked up again. Oh, he's all over the back of World Rally, but oh, that's going to frustrate him a lot, that. Just don't lose your head, you've got the faster tyres. I wonder if he's trying to do a two-stop or something, because everyone else seems happy with the hards. Is he going to go for a proper rush at the end of this?
Looking at the data as well with the tyres, the mediums where he pitted just a lap ago, they can't make it to the end. It's impossible. So you will have to do a two-stop going to softs in the end, because otherwise it's going to be go hard or go home. So the mediums could go from lap 10 to the end here. We're on lap 6 now. So yeah, I'm guessing, again, since he's got nothing to lose since he was a reserve driver, maybe that's why he's going for the two-stop. Same with Ruben as well. Why not have a bit of fun? could be a late safety car. They could be back in this as well. So we shall see. But there could be other people make mistakes because it's all about damage limitation for some of these drivers as well. We could see a lot more drivers potentially hit the wall because it's so close. And that could put them right back into this as well. Meanwhile, Hadler is still in the lead by 6 tenths over Lamborghini as well. Obviously, they all pitted at the same time, so they didn't really benefit from the undercuts. We couldn't really tell if the undercut would work or not, so we'll keep an eye on the hard runners to see if the undercut works for them as well. Fabi, one of the championship contenders, his race has gone from bad to worse right now, down in 16th position. And we got CC Brain, who's gone on from the mediums into the pits. I'm guessing he's going on to the hards, and he's got a damaged front wing as well, so he could get to the end for mid, but ideally he wanted to do medium to soft, but unfortunately he can't do that.
So Hercules then got by World Rally on that main straight. He's now going to be trying to get after the guys in front, as Fenny, I think, has been either shoved off by Will. He's lost 2 places there. Will, I think, has overtaken him and had to sort of scare Fenny off. Or is there a puncture? Or I don't really know what's happening.
He's slowing down.
Yeah, he's slowing down. I mean, I don't really know why he's doing this. He's not got any damage of note. So, yeah, it's a weird one. Whether maybe his wheel's having some sort of issues. Hope not. But he's certainly given a lot of positions up. And it's caused yellow flags, I think. Oh, he's nearly in the wall. So, yeah, there's something going on there with Fenny. Hopefully he can get whatever his problems are sorted. But that's bad news for him. Back to Hercules, though. Like I say, he obviously is doing a 2-stop. So he's going to have to get super aggressive. He's going to get proper racy. And he's going to want to get by Lamborghini and Hadler as soon as possible. And then pull away, because he's going to do this. Pull the gap, pit for the end. Either mediums again or softs again. And go for the win at the end. As you say, Jason Sage car will certainly help him. But he's going to go for the aggressive approach. I mean, I can't really use much of my experience. But it's a very fun strategy to do in my team. But whether it'll work on the online stage, we'll have to wait and see. But it's certainly an exciting strategy. It's good to see this, isn't it? I'm loving this.
I'm liking that it's not just a one-stop all the time. They're just be like, right, this is the last season on the game cycle. Why try something different? It's not many people race around here as well. So again, we don't know which is the right strategy, which is the wrong strategy. Also, we got 2 strategies which we think would work. Fenny has unfortunately retired in the pit lane, so he's probably pulled the plug, unfortunately. Suko gets past Will Murdoch for P2. But yeah, I think this is one of those tracks as well. But yeah, there can be a mixture of strategies, and that could make things very, very exciting, because we don't know which one's going to come out on top as well. More people going on the hards than we thought, which is a bit of a shocker as well. And no one is on the softs at all, so we are just seeing a mediums versus hards battle going on right now as well. DRS train is still alive and kicking, still growing, going from I think Will Murdoch all the way down to, I would say, Gill as well. And don't forget, the top 10, they get points in this league as well. 16 points for the winner, 1 point for 10th place. You do the math. And obviously there's about 6 drivers that, if they get a bad result here tonight, then they'll be out of the fight, like you said. Don't forget, before tonight, Eltink is leading by 3 points, I think. And the top 3 covered by 5 points in the standings. So Eltink, where he is at the moment, yes, he's leading the race on track, but again, he still has to make a stop. So does Suku, so does Will Murdoch. So we'll see when they pit, will they be going for the aggressive hard to soft strategy, or will they go on the mediums? One way to find out. Tune into the rest of this race as we've got Will Murdoch going on to the left-hand side of Suku once again. And looks like they're changing positions once again, like we saw with Hadler and Lamborghini.
I think Lamborghini is seeing Hercules, and he's maybe opened the door to him as Hercules goes right round the outside. He's got the better grip on those mediums as well. I'll be very surprised Lamborghini gets too aggressive, and he's hit him. No major front wing damage, but I'm sure there must be something. Maybe some light yellow damage, but he's going to lose positions anyway to Ruben and to Balner. That was so unnecessary. Hercules is going to have to pit again anyway. What are you doing getting yourself into a fight with him? Just let him go. Focus on your own race, and he's not done so. And that's going to cost Lamborghini. That's points in this crucial, close championship fight going down the drain.
Yeah, exactly. And at the moment, even though he's still the highest of the championship contenders anyway, there could be other people that could be chasing him, like a Hawk Light Banner, for example, as well. So we'll have to do some pure maths at the end of the stream to actually find out who's still in this fight as well. I'm almost certain, with the way this is going, because obviously KJ, we don't know where he's going to be. Gil is in 10th at the moment. I think the fight is not going to end tonight. It's going to go all the way down to Brazil, which is what we wanted all along. I said at the start of the season, please can we have the F2 Championship go down to Brazil, and it's most likely going to happen tonight for next week, which is what we like to see as well with the last race of the game as well, which will make it a little bit more competitive. And for the first time as well, we could have more than 2 people in this fight as well. Will Murder, will he change places with Suku once again? Because Suku is aggressive once again on those hard tyres. This is not going to do any world of good, because that's going to allow Hadler to close up even more. So he could be 3 abreast. This could be like IndyCar, but looks like Suku's got the move once again. And I wonder if we're going to have the 2 Williams teammates help each other out. I wonder if Will is going to be a team player. Knowing Will, I think he can. He was in the Williams last season, I believe, as well. So, and he did help his teammate then. So I wonder if he's going to do the same here, of course. Ruben picks up a penalty. Not one of the tracks where you can easily gain penalties around here. So if you get a penalty, then you're definitely in trouble. And you must have cut one of the corners massively. Maybe around turn 16 where you probably cut the corner. But we'll see. Haller must not be liking being stuck in this traffic right now.
Nah, it's not good news. But you know, it's I guess a little bit good for him that Hercules is just not doing much, is he? Because at least it's a DRS train. And Suko, what's Suko going to do? That's the problem. Is Suko's the car ahead of Will. What does Will do? Because it's weird. You've got that dynamic, haven't you? You've got the 2 sort of net race leaders, Hadler and Hercules, and it's their teammates who lead the trains. Which teammate's going to help who? I think Will's hit the wall, and he's now got out of the way. Has he collected anyone else in that avoidance?
Maybe not.
So he's just fallen down. So that's let Hadler through. But now it's a Red Bull, pairing sandwiching Hadler. So surely Hercules, this is his opportunity to overtake the Williams driver and move himself up into, net race lead to then hopefully pull away, build the gap, and then get himself in a fight to actually win it later on. Lamachina is all over the back of Ruben as well. This will be quite the drag race down towards turn 1. I wonder how many overtakes we're going to see now, because you know what, actually, it's World Rally who's most likely to make an overtake. For some reason, he's actually so close to Hercules. Will Hercules have enough straight line speed to get by Hadler towards turn 1? How much is the Williams going to defend? How far is the AlphaTauri going to try and get involved? He backs out and will try and go on the exit of turn 2 instead, and then pull himself past Hadler. And that could be the race-winning move we're watching, as World Rally pulls ahead of Hadler. Hercules, now his job is to pull away and fast. This is where he has to get his teammate involved. Will Suko recognise what's going on here and try and help his teammate through? I don't know really. When he's got the championship fight to think about, maybe he won't be too interested in playing the team game. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. World Rally's last win on this game in PSGL was in season 27 in Russia in the rain. He could be getting his first win in the dry potentially as well if he keeps this up as well. He is technically your net race leader on the hards, but obviously Hercules will need to stop one more time unless there's a safety car, which could change things massively. That means everybody would have to pit as well. I wonder what I would do if I was Hercules as well, because if there's a danger that other people could get past, then you probably regretted going onto those medium tyres anyway. The mediums are going to be like a sitting duck from around about 12 laps into these tyres, so not long to go, of course, as well, until that happens at the crossover point. And the pit lane loss around it, 19 seconds, so Hercules will need to get a good gap to the majority of the rivals as well before he pits as well in order to make the 2-stop work, and I just don't think it's going to happen. So he's just doing this for fun really as well. Meanwhile, Lamborghini is all over the back of Hadler once again, but this time he's got the better straight line speed than Hadler as well. Hadler didn't look like he was very confident around here as well, and he could be in a position to get World Rally. He could get World Rally as well, side by side potentially into turn 1. I think we could be 3 wide here, but Hadler I think just had to concede there, but looked like Lamborghini was going to go for it. I don't know why he didn't go for it. Maybe he didn't want to take any risks, but he's going to probably get it in the next DRS straight, which is probably why he's he's conceived and just waiting for the opportunity. But it's too late for him right now as well. World Rally is pulling away with that straight line speed right now. This could be a really interesting fight between World Rally, Lamborghini, Hadler as well. Ruben's still in this as well, and Banner could be playing a back seat in this, as well as the other Haas as well. And maybe Gilby's a little bit too further back to see anything of it at the moment. But Gil is not where he wants to be in order to close the gap to his nearest rivals. Cause, yeah, he was second in the championship before tonight, but he's going to be probably way down the field if he can't climb up in this order now, because he's going to be a danger of losing out to the F2 title. But he wasn't expecting to win the championship anyway, so this is just for fun again. But surely you want to be redemption for him, to be honest, because he won the F1 championship in season 26. Season 27 didn't go well for him on the wheel in F1, dropped down to F2. He's got a few wins this season, but yeah, he's not doing very well in ninth. But again, this is the first time that he's using a wheel around this track, so I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. But at least he's still in the points at the moment, so this could still work well in his favour, but we'll have to find out, as Lamborghini still on World Rally. I think he's going to get him at this point, but you never know.
Well, let's see. ERS is not looking good for World Rally, so I think Lamborghini doesn't even really need the DRS to get through. He will use it though, and he will use the ERS. This helps him get a bit closer to Hercules, but Lamborghini is now up to the front, but he has got his penalty. Once again, could hold him back. Ruben, by the way, he's into the wall. Well, so I was about to pick you up, mate, and you've stuck it in the wall. Apologies for the commentator's curse. I was about to say he's about to join this fight, but no, he's out of the fight just as quickly as he entered it.
Yeah, a bit of a shame for Ruben as well, but it just shows that if you make the slightest mistake, then that's probably ruined your race. And that's allowed Gil to go up into P8. CC Brain has gone into the pit, so I have a feeling he's picked up damage. Let's see. Yes, he has. I wonder where he's binned it. He's on the softs. Okay, interesting strategy call. Are they seeing stuff to win hot? Or did he pick the wrong tyre? I think he probably picked the wrong tyre. I think he forgot to change the tyres back to mediums or something, because surely he would have probably tried to do the hard to soft strategy, but that didn't work out. So, yeah, not good for CC Brain. He's probably going to regret that decision. He'll have to pit again as well. Another yellow flag, and that's another Haas car. That's probably Ruben once again that's binned it.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
I mean, I've had pretty bad commentators' curses in the past, but that might be the worst one I've done. I do apologise. I can only blame myself for this one. This is not your mistake, Ruben. I mean, you couldn't have timed it better, but yeah, that's him pretty much out of this one. He was on the same strategy that Hercules was on, and that's why I was bringing him up, because he would have been good at basically trying to do the same thing as Hercules. But actually, Hercules hasn't really pulled a gap, and well, you're about to see what happens if you don't pull a gap. Lamborghini is about to come past him. That's going to be a car buffer to World Rally, who's now been overtaken by Hadler. This is starting to go, as CC Brain puts it in the wall at the castle, this is starting to go back to virtual safety car. This is looking certainly more like it's back in Lamborghini's favour, because he's now got that buffer. He had made about 1.5 seconds. So if Hercules, when he pits, there's a chance Lamborghini might not be in DRS threat anymore and might have a chance to pull away. CC Brain, I assume hasn't got a front line. Nope, hasn't got the front line. So that was his race done, effectively, unfortunately. A few guys have been able to pit under this VSC. We have gone green once again. It'll help Luca and Ascom maybe get back into it, but they're still so far away from the rest of the grid. They really do need a full safety car actually to help them back in, but still, pit stop to pit stop, you might get a fast stop out of it. It depends on how Hercules does at the end, but yeah, you can see what I mean with the gap. It's about 1.8 seconds between Lamborghini and Hadler, so now, suddenly Hercules is the one making the race, but for Lamborghini.
Yeah, it looks like he's helping him for a minute there as well, and Lamborghini, as it stands, I believe, will take the championship lead, because there's a 5-point gap between Lamborghini and KJ before this race, so he'll be leading it with just one race to go, and with KJ out of the picture at the moment, this could be advantage Lamborghini, which I was predicting to win this title at the beginning of this season, and he's doing the world of good so far. Hasn't had the best runs this season, apart from obviously his 2 wins and 1 podium, but that's the only time he scored points this season. We're going to get in the record books where we've seen people that have only scored points certain times and DNF'd in some and still managed to win the title. So that's how close this field is, as we've got Lamborghini that's getting past Suku by the looks of things, which he does quite comfortably. KJ's in the pits. What tyres are he going to go on to? I would assume it's the medium tyres. Let me have a look. She can't go on the softs now. Yeah, it is the medium tyres. The mediums will definitely go into the end. And he's got a bit of a buffer as well to push even harder as well. He's going to be in P8 as well, so not a bad position to be in as well. But he's going to find a long way to try and catch up to the guys on the hards that have been there from 8 laps now. So it's going to be tough for KJ. but he's still in a good points position as well. I think he'll still be in this fight for next week, so I don't know what position he needs to be in to stay in this fight, but we'll do the maths after the stream, and then you'll know after the interviews who's still in this fight and who isn't. And is Hercules' tire starting to die a little bit? You can't really tell from the way looking at it, but they're still managing the castle section okay, so that's good as well. Lat he could just fall away now. He's got no care in the world. Whereas Handler, he is stuck in a Red Bull sandwich in front of him, so that's not good.
Yeah, so what Lamborghini's got to worry about is KJ, basically now. So KJ 13 seconds behind, but the thing is he doesn't actually have to pass Lamborghini to win the race, because he will be much quicker. KJ, and he's in so much clean air right now. That gap could go under 3 seconds by the end of this fight. It just depends how it all goes and how many cars KJ passes and how quick he does so. Depends on what happens around him as well. There's a lot of close cars. But yeah, certainly going to have to keep your eye on KJ, LZ, because he will be one of the quickest drivers out there. I wonder when Hercules is going to decide to pit. In fact, he'll pit now, so it will be another set of mediums, I'd assume.
Yes.
10 laps on this one. He'll do 10 laps on the other set as well. And indeed, it is the yellow mark tyre as we see into the wall. Suko.
Ooh.
Well, I wondered if he actually hit the wall. He hasn't got any damage, but it's another car out of the way for KJ potentially, because he will have to pit anyway. But it's just yeah, maybe slowed a few of the guys behind him down a tad. I think Hadler was maybe trying to pass him. I'm not 100% sure what was happening there, but either way, Suko has lost some time.
And more effectively, he's lost potentially a chance of actually getting into this fight in the championship as well. I believe he's 4th coming into this, so technically he's still in this. But if he loses 6 points over the likes of Lamborghini and KJ this week, then he's definitely out of it, because I believe it's obviously 1 point for fastest lap, 16 points for a win. So you've got to gain pretty much. You've got to be at least 17 points behind the top person in order to stay in this fight. So there could be a few people still out of this potentially as well. So, well, yeah, definitely watch out for KJ. If he can pull up these moves that he can, because he's already almost catching up to the train, then he could be in the driver's seat for next week, which is what he wants. He wasn't expecting the win from last week, but he was very, very happy when we were speaking to him anyway as well. But I'm just looking at the delta times. 1.2 seconds between the softs and the mediums, and around about 7/10 between the mediums and the hards, so not quite much of a difference, but it all adds up if you think about it, with 11 laps to go of this race. And will Suko go into the pits for maybe softs in 2 laps time, or will he just manage those? He has to pit anyway, so he has no choice, but no, he stays out, so he's not responding to KJ. Interesting.
Yeah, so let's see what KJ's doing. The gap right now, he has only closed by about a second on the last lap. All he really needs is to close down by, in fairness, per lap. But yeah, he just has to think about the cars he's racing. Don't waste the ERS when you don't need to as well. He is on similar ERS to most of the cars in front of him. Suko will get out of the way, so actually he's looking pretty equal to all the guys around. So that should be, once he turns up, he should be able to make moves with no real dramas. But it's, again, easier said than done. It's been what I've been saying all race of these guys, because it's true. But yeah, down under 12 seconds now. He certainly has given it some. KJ, it will be quite a tense set. Oh,
Lamborghini's in the wall. He's in the runoff area.
Well, that's not gone to plan, has it? I mean, he's reset the track, and what it's doing is resetting him into the barrier, is it? Well,
he can't get out. It's a Daniel Ricciardo moment.
This feels like a wheel problem, to be honest. It's not a natural way of driving this. When he's going left, right, left, right, left, right. There's another car off as well. Is the lobby having issues, or are we just in a really bad spot with drivers having issues? Has
another person that's gone off?
Because Lamborghini is still unable to get on. So this, in my opinion, this doesn't look like it's his fault at all. Oh, what a shame! Look at this. He's just stuck.
He's going to be out of the championship.
This looks to me like a wheel is disconnected and the AI is taken over, and obviously the AI doesn't know what it's doing. And so it's reversing, its wheel is messing about. You can see it going left to right. That's not what anyone would do. You can't imagine Lamborghini actually sitting there going left, right, left, right, left, right. He'd be smashing his wrist to pieces, for goodness sake. So this is him losing potentially the championship through no fault of his own, I think.
That's unfortunate, I have to say, losing a championship like that. It kind of reminds me of yesterday where Valtteri Bottas retired from the race for no fault of his own. So, yeah, a bit of a shame, but we'll see what happens.
At what point is the game going to put safety car out for this, you know? Because the AI is not going to disappear. It's just getting stuck there. It's a yellow flag.
If I were him, I would retire.
Yeah, because, this could have safety car implications, because he's going to have to retire at some point. You can't just sit there. The leaders are coming through now. On board, I am with Hadler, and you can see Lamborghini's just stuck down there. How bizarre. How utterly bizarre.
So Lamborghini is now in last position, a lap down on the rest of the field through no fault of his own as well. Unfortunately, that's the game for you. Unfortunately, Benny has retired. I'm guessing he's retired in the pit lane or somewhere. Let's follow CC Brain to see if he has retired in the pit lane. It may be that he just binned it in the wall.
I think he has retired in the pits, although it does seem a rather odd spot to retire in the pits, but...
It may just be the Arco Raw on the left where he binned it, which is an odd place to bin it, like we said, but...
Well, look, he was in the wall earlier in the lap as well. He might have been having similar issues to whatever Lamborghini's having. You can see his AI is still trying to get itself turned around. It wouldn't even surprise me if Lamborghini's not even here. If he's just been disconnected, and this is what we're left with. It's unbelievable. He's taken a 600-point turn, unfortunately. The AI are really messing us, because this is a permanent yellow flag down here now. I doubt you'd get any overtaking there anyway, but it's just worth thinking about, just in case someone has a bad turn 7 and you can't pass into 8 now. Not that you'd want to, but yeah, it's worth thinking about, just in case.
And the most important thing, that brings the likes of Banana, Gil, KJ back into this championship fight, maybe Suko as well on the softs, which he's just pitted onto them, so he's going to be really, really fast at the end of this race as well. He's got past Luca, he's going to get past Will Murdoch as well, who's pitted on some mediums recently as well. Suko has got the gap 8 seconds to Hercules, which is doable to get past, but the delta is going to be a lot harder to catch up as well. We could see a different race winner potentially as well. It's not the first time we've seen different winners in a Baku in real life, of course. We've seen weird and interesting podiums as well, as Lance Stroll got his first podium here, Sergio Perez as well, don't forget to, and it's just absolutely crazy what's going on right now. And Lamborghini, it can't be him right now. It literally could not be him. I bet you he's gone downstairs to find his PS4 or 5 controller and just fix this mess out, which he's already like 2 laps down already. That's just a shame right now, but this could be Royal Rally, Hadler versus Ballina. Actually, no, Hadler versus Royal Rally for the win.
His front wind's come off, look. So that could be safety car if he has enough damage. He's been in there for about 5 minutes now. World Rally. If I'm World Rally, I'm saying that Ballina's absolutely nowhere near me right now, and I'm just saving as much ERS as possible to go for this on the final lap. He's pretty much got all he needs here to take his first victory of the season in this AlphaTauri. Whether he can or not. Obviously, Hadler's desperate for the win as well. KJ is onto the back of his teammate and Balliner now, so I wonder what the dynamic's going to be there when he's on such newer tyres. But yeah, I have a feeling we'll be in sort of a stalemate for now. And it'll all sort of kick off at the end. It's how it sort of went in the Esports Cup. And yeah, I expect sort of the same thing to happen here. Just checking Lamborghini. Has that whole front wing come off yet? Because he's getting significantly more damage through each hit. Because the game simply is unable to get him turned around. I've never seen this before. This is extraordinarily unlucky. Because even if he gets going, his race is over ages ago. And look how close this is up the hill as well. And is it me, Jess, or does it look like it's about to absolutely tip it down?
It's got to up very, very quickly. I was just about to say that after you finished speaking, but yeah, we could have an interesting end to the race on our hands. Maybe that's why the likes of Hercules and LT may be gone for the 2-stop, because they know the mediums will be better than the hards in the changeable conditions, because I think it could potentially be raining soon, but it may not be enough to go onto the inters, but you never know. This will probably turn the race on its head. It's very dark. You can see dark clouds on the top of your screen right now. I think rain is coming. That's why we don't ask for the weather in this tier, because of the unpredictability. Some tiers do tell their commentators what the weather is. We don't ask the drivers because we like surprises. like the commentators in real life, of course, but that means the temperatures are cooling down as well. That's not going to help the hard runners at all. They need to get so much temperature into their tyres. This may help Royal Rally, actually, as he potentially goes side by side with Hadler, but Hadler's trying to break some slipstream on Royal Rally. But yeah, if this race hasn't got even crazy enough with the glitches, then my oh my, we could be in for an absolute treat of a finish as well, with the final race to go in Brazil as well. And still yellow flag in Sector 2, so ignore that. But I think most people have got through the castle section unscathed. I thought we saw Ban had been it as well.
He's moving.
Oh, he's moving.
He's moving.
Hey!
Wow. His lap has lasted for 7 minutes and 50 seconds. That's high. He's got a puncture for puncture for good measure. No, hopefully none of the leaders hit him because they're now coming across him. He will ghost, luckily. But with rain, if it does rain, obviously Eltink will be in the best position, I'd imagine, because of his tyres being the mediums. They should last much better in these changeable conditions. I wonder if they have Singapore in their head, or I wonder if it's just not going to rain. Maybe it's there just to, tease us. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I just cannot believe that luck for Lamborghini. I mean,
he's going to retire.
It's not a penalty for corner car analysis. Give the guy a break. Mind you, a 5-second penalty is not really going to matter when he's been on this lap for more than 8 minutes. You just got to worry he's not going to wreck his car and put a safety car out, because in this section of the track, when you've got a puncture, that's not easy to control. And he's already been in the wall once. And if that pops, the rear tire hasn't actually popped yet. If that pops and sort of delaminates, that can send you spearing off into the wall in an instant. And there's nothing you'd be able to do about it. So let's just hope he gets it into the pit lane safely. He does, so that should be him really retiring from the race now. Somehow he's spared in there as well. I don't really... Yeah.
Yeah, he's retired.
Yeah, he's retired, so that is just a massive shame, isn't it? I mean, I've never seen luck that bad, especially when it's for the championship, because he was winning the race. He'd pulled his gap. He was really getting there, and then for that to happen, shocking luck.
He would have been leading the championship as well if he won the race. I think he had the pace to literally get Hadler and Royal Rally. It was a great battle as well, and sometimes bad luck happens. It's just a shame that a fight like that would have been ruined as well, and that means less people are going to be in this championship fight, which is not good. But we'll do the maths. Maybe Lamborghini has maybe done enough to stay in this, because we don't know what the other drivers are doing. But with Gil and KJ having such good races, maybe potentially on those medium, well, KJ on the mediums as he get past his teammate Gil, I don't think Gil challenged that, as CC Brain is retired in the pit lane, and we're down to 12 runners, I believe, now. So now KJ's job is to get past Banner as well. I think KJ could be leading this championship, actually, because apart from Banner, he is obviously Banner still in this championship fight as well. KJ out of the immediate championship rivals, he's in the lead of all of this, so he could still be holding on to this lead, which is good. He's definitely not going to win the championship today. It's literally impossible by the looks of things, but at least Gil is still giving a run for his money, so I wonder if KJ's tyres are going to go pop. Probably not, with a few laps to go, but we've got Royal Rally 2/10 behind Hadler right now. Is he going to go for a massive send? That almost got wrong. It did go wrong. He's in the wall.
Why has he done that? I mean, think about the last lap, maybe, but especially into turn 3 as well, that's a nonsensical move, evidently. Now he's going to have to pay the price for that, because that is him in trouble. Does that mean Rainey thinks is coming then? Is that maybe him thinking, this is my last DRS chance? I mean, I can't see any other reason why I would think that's a good idea. Luckily, Hadler saw it coming, because that could easily have been both of them out of the race, but that's going to help Ballmer. Ballmer, who, let me look at the points. I wonder if Ballmer is actually here.
Banner's still in this fight. He's got a 11-point gap to KJ.
He won't take the chance to lead, but if he can...
He'll be second, I think.
Place, he'll certainly get higher up. I don't know if he'll overtake Gil or not, but he'll certainly potentially be the 3rd place driver. Oh, well, rises even more of his front wing. Again, understeer in this last sector. Do be careful, you don't stick it into the fence, because it is quite easy to do, because you will easily understeer and just go straight on if you're not careful. Ballmer, I'm sure, will be aware of that as well, as he pulls alongside. He's going to move up into 2nd position. and I don't think he'll be able to catch Hadler before the race is out. I'd be surprised if World Rally pits. He doesn't. Hercules. Yeah, we forgot about him.
He's going to go for big on Gil.
Yeah, he's heading past Gil now on his lovely fresh mediums as well. So him and KJ could potentially have a fight at some point. But they'll be more focused on the AlphaTauri as it does start to rain. So, people on the mediums, as I said, that explains, like I say, why World Rally went for the move. It was his last chance, pretty much. Although, he will be thinking now, well, I had one more main straight. So yeah, maybe it wasn't the last chance, but in his eyes, I guess it was. The guys on mediums now should have the best grip because they're fresher tyres, they're quicker tyres. 3 laps of this. This is a very long track, the second longest track on the calendar, I believe. That also explains why World Rally hasn't pitted, although it would have made no sense anyway. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. We sort of felt this was coming. The drivers obviously knew this was coming.
We didn't.
How are they going to deal with it? Are we going to get a typhoon like we did in Singapore on the last lap? Or is it going to stay nice and, minimal?
I just don't think the rain is going to fall down hard enough. I just don't think it is. I think it's just going to stay like this until the end of this race, which is really hard for the drivers to drive around it and more prone for the drivers to make mistakes, which Suko has got past Gil into P6. The Red Bulls are coming out. This Suko is also in this fight.
This is a big chance of any of these three getting P3 because look at this. If World Rally wasn't going to struggle before, he's going to have a horrendous time now. He'd be lucky if he doesn't hit the wall at some point through there, but Suko must be by far the fastest guy out there. Imagine if he didn't have that incident at turn 1 when he went straight on, had to pretty much stop. He'd have been much quicker, but he must be the fastest guy by some distance out on this track. Azerbaijan, where's he going to go? He's going to go outside. Be careful of quickly swapping your line in a wet track. He'll cut inside, and World Rally is out of the podium positions. Will Hercules risk it down the inside of turn 2? No, World Rally's actually into the back of KJ. That might have done even more damage, but here comes Hercules now trying to get through. The AlphaTauri moves to the inside line. KJ will give him a little bit of slipstream, but Hercules does get through in the end. World Rally, does he get it slowed down? Yes, he does. And now Suko will be the next one to have a go. Hercules can smell a podium. Can he get there?
With one and a half laps to go, he could do. And don't forget, he debuted last week in Japan. Oh my God, here comes Suko on World Rally. Don't know what happened there. I almost caught the aftermath of that. But yeah, it was in the wall there almost. So I think it's due to these conditions. I think more than anything that people are starting to struggle. And that's World Rally. And he's... Oh, did he hit Gil or something like that? He probably hit himself.
Hit something. He's out of the race anyway.
He's done a Lamborghini.
I don't put a safety car out for that game, please.
Oh, we can't. There's you need at least one green flag of safety green flag. So no, we're not going to get a safety car. But yeah, World Rally has done a Lamborghini there. But at least he's retired. As Fabi is in the pits on the Inters. Maybe a bit too late. He's a little bit too further back, but still.
Possibly, yeah. As Luca gets by Gil.
I think Gil's got damage.
Penalty anyway for Gil, and I think you might be right. There is indeed damage on the racing point, but here we go. Final lap. DRS is still enabled, and it's basically what all these guys had to rely on because look at them. They don't have any ERS left. It's all about DRS. They're going to have to do this the old style way, sort of, as they head down towards turn 1. High is their nerves. Surely Suko is loving the grip because he will have plenty of it on those softs on this last lap. Fabi's slow on the inters, so certainly still enough for dries. I mean, the DRS is still enabled. That tells you all you need to know. It's not all about the moves down towards turn 3. It will be about that move on the last straight, potentially. But Suko, we know he goes for moves in the middle sector. He did it last time on World Rally. Might well have been why Rally ended up out of the race, but still he went for it. Not quite close enough this time to do on Hercules, but certainly he fancies the podium, Suko, and you know what, it could be crucial to his championship. This could put him right up there, but look at Hercules. He's not going to try on the inside of KJ. He's got massive front wing damage, actually. Didn't see that, but he has got lots of front wing damage, and Hercules has got through at 7. Now, can Suko get through at some point as well, because this is demoting the championship leader a few positions, and with Gil falling down as well, this is Suko ready to take full advantage. Luca as well. Remember him? He was at the back of this race at the start. He was facing backwards and he was in the wall. And now he's right on. It's Suko trying to get through as well. just not enough time or space. But surely he'll have the run out of the final corner. Handler's going to win the race. We'll maybe try and have a look at it. But look at that, KJ's gone wide. And he is gone possibly to let Suko through to get the DRS. I reckon that's a strategic move, that one. Let's see if he can take advantage of it. As he comes through, he's nearly hit the wall. Quickly, here's Handler. He's coming across the line. He has no idea what's going on behind him. He's just won in Baku. Great drive. Bounder will be second. Hercules should be third, but who's going to be fourth? I believe Suko will hold on. Elting's out of fuel. Will Luca get him? Oh, so close. Didn't quite get there. Gill's fallen down because of the penalty and the position he's just lost on the main straight. Anyway, so Elting's fifth, Luca's fifth, Ascom seventh, Gill, Will, Murdoch, there'll be Fabi and Toxic Tomato, but I really don't know what that's going to do to the points, Jess, but I've got a feeling that Suko might be feeling quite happy about that one. How many points was he off coming into this one? He was
he is
11.
10.
Or 10, sorry. Yes, there was Luca who was 11 points off. So those two, yeah, they'll be happy enough with that, actually. Balner, of course, as well. This is going to be 4 or 5 different cars in this championship fight right at the death. I cannot wait for next week. I think this is going to be fantastic.
Oh, I literally can't wait for this championship fight to end next week as well. I can't remember which two also had like 4 championship people in the fight. I think it was F4 or F5 last season. I remember it being a similar situation. So we're going to get that in F2. That is amazing as well. We're just waiting for Fabi to cross the line as well. We all know that Fabi is out of this fight. Benny's out of the championship fight as well. So is CC Brain. M Shorty DNF'd. He's out of this championship fight as well. So we're going to see how it's stacked between Eltink, Gill, Lamakina. Obviously, Lamakina might be out, but I'll need to do some math to double check that. Suku, I think Suku's definitely still in this fight. I'm almost certain. Same with Luca. Bano, I think, still in this fight as well. So we got 3 for definite. KJ, yeah, he's definitely in this fight as well. So this is going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm going to let you do the interviews whilst I try to figure all this maths out, and then you will find out very, very soon who's still in this fight. But Suko gets drive of the day. He started at the back of the grid, don't forget. He had a quali ban, and I did say starting on pole or starting in at the back of the grid is the most advantageous strategy. And I was right there. So well done to Handler, well done to Suko, well done to Hercules as well. Great drive from him. Absolutely amazing. We didn't think that the rain was going to come. Hercules did. Strategy masterclass for him, I think. And he's got his first podium in PSGL. Hopefully that is a sign to the directors to put him in F2 next season.
Well, yes, I mean, it's a fantastic driver, and a lot of great drivers out there today. Thoroughly entertaining race once again. It's just brilliant. I love this league. It's fantastic. But let's just quickly confirm the order. Hadler, Balner, Hercules, Suko, Eltink, Luca, Ascom, Gill, Will, Fabi, and Toxic. Then the retirements. World Rally, CC Brain, Benny, Lamakina, Ruben, M Short, and Benny. So, yeah, we'll have to try and see if anyone wants to be interviewed. Because they're not been very nice to us this season. But hopefully we can get some of them, because there's certainly plenty to talk about today. And, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, really, that the front two are, you know, the front row stayed as the front row at the end of the race. You wouldn't think it was as simple as that.
No, but, definitely not. Because Handler as well, Lamakina was quick on pace, so was well running. Those two were out of the picture. And Handler just drove a very clean race, which I feel like is important around here. If you keep it clean around Baku, you get rewarded, and that's what Handler did. Bannon was so close to the win. Unfortunately, didn't quite get there. Still hasn't got his first win in PSGL yet. Maybe next week could be the sign of things to come around here. So we will see how this is going to play out. So I'm going to do some math just in case we don't get any interviews. So I don't think anyone's waiting in the interview box at the moment. Yeah, so I've got the standings there with me at the moment. So obviously Handler... he got, hold on, let me get my calculator as well. Maths on the fly, ladies and gentlemen, but we do know, almost certain, that the championship fight is going to Brazil. That's all we know. The question is, who's still in that fight? So, Handler started on 26. He scored 16 points, so he'll be on 42. Yeah, I'm almost certain he'll still be in there, so I'll have to do some maths. Maybe I have to do the maths after the stream, because otherwise it's going to be a whole... luckily, Hercules is in the waiting room, so I could do the maths whilst you interview him, luckily. He saved the day. I'll do that. Here he is.
Alrighty. So, Hercules then. What... Oh, he's left. Aw. I want to talk to you. Right. I was very excited ever since, but he decided he wants to leave. He's back. Are you going to stay this time? Can I talk? Nope. Stay?
He's staying, I think.
Hopefully you're staying. Hopefully you can hear me. Well, first of all, congratulations, because for a reserve to come in, have a drive like that from P6 to P3. Oh, for Christ's sake. For those of you who don't know, he's constantly joining and relieving. I hope there's no sort of internet issues when it's doing that, but we'll get the question in eventually. Oh, he's left the waiting room and all sorts. Right, well, there goes our interview. That's the worst one so far.
Yeah, well, I don't think we got any. I think there was one thing we didn't get any interviews either. So it may be. Let's try it again, shall we? Come on, 'cause I need to do some maths, and I won't be able to do some maths unless Right, Hercules, are you there? Oh, for
Nope.
goodness sake!
We'll give it a few more tries before we give up on it, but oh dear. Fun times, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just maybe Discord just playing up a little bit. It could be just Discord having its or it might just be the servers. We don't know the situation, but I can't remember how many points second place gets. I think it's 12. I think I'm gonna go on the assumption it's 12, but we'll see. I think we'll have to wait and do the maths until after the stream, because otherwise we're gonna be here all day. I know we got some streams to watch. Let's see if we get Hercules in one more time, and if we don't get him in, then we'll give up.
Right. Can you hear? I see you've muted, but does that mean?
Ah.
I think he's having issues. I think it's kicking you out.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's saying in the PSGL chat as well on Twitter. So yeah, that's a shame. Okay, I don't think we can get him in.
No, I don't think we could get him in. So to save the time, I think I'm gonna put it on Twitter the who's still in the fight, and then next week we will see who will be crowned the PSGL Season 28 F2 champion. I'll get your predictions for next week. Who do you think's gonna claim the title?
Oh, I'm not going to bid it this week. I'm going to wait until you finish the standing, so I don't say someone who's not even in the fight. But
Yeah,
I'll have a prediction for you next week.
That's a good idea as well. So we got F1, which has a championship fight, I believe, which could be won tonight by Wilson, also known as Sparks. So he could win it tonight. I don't know what the permutations are there, but if you want to check out the F1 stream, you'll find out as well. We could see a reigning double champion on our hands this week, but it's between him versus Duncan versus Duke that's still in that fight as well. But like we've seen in F2, anything can happen. So for myself, anyway, we will see you next week for the final round of the season, believe it or not, the final round of F1 2020, the Brazilian Grand Prix. I'm glad it's the final round of the season because it's going to be an absolute classic with so many people in this fight. It only takes one small error for people to be out of it. See you next week, everybody. Have a good night and enjoy the rest of the streams tonight. Good night.